I think it might be a good idea or helpful to people if we can explain some of our personal philosophies, how we got there. I'll go first because I don't think it's fair to spring that on you guys.
Thank you.
So you guys can think about it for a minute. I'll go first. I have two main rules and one sort of principle that I like to follow. And the two main rules is don't ignore me, don't fuck with my shit, and my general philosophy is hold people to the standards that they put forward, not the standard that I put onto them. So if somebody says, like, oh, if you can't show it, you don't know it, then the person, like, so Aaron Ra, for example, which I love that phrase. I think it's a great phrase. If he can't show it, he doesn't know it either. So if he presents something and he's wrong and he can't show it, then he shouldn't be saying that he knows it, right? Now, that's just an example. For the other two, don't ignore me and don't fuck with my shit. Not ignoring me does not mean that you have to listen to everything I say ever and I need to be loud and boisterous. It means if you come to me looking for solutions to a problem, it doesn't mean you have to do exactly as I say, but don't ignore me when I'm telling you what the answers to your questions are. You don't have to do those things. You don't even have to agree with those things. But if you completely brush me off, I'm not talking for the sake of fucking talking here. Leave me alone and don't waste my time.
Yeah.
And the second one is don't fuck with my shit. Because if you fuck with my shit, I'm going to fuck with you back. It's only fair. And that's basically the way I go about my life. If you want to get a little bit more complicated, I have one more thing that I like to do, and it is analyzing interactions about whether or not I decide this interaction is going to be worth my time. And the way I analyze those interactions are, it's either going to be good, like a positive interaction for me. Now, it doesn't mean that the interaction has to be good. It means it has to be in my favor. It's going to be neutral, or it's going to be negative. Why would I waste my time on anything that would be a negative? And why would I waste my time on anything that would be a neutral? There's enough people out there to interact with. There's enough space, there's enough things to engage with, that you almost never have to have a neutral or a negative interaction outside of extenuating circumstance. So that's kind of the way I operate. That's kind of how I live my life.
I bet you try your best on especially that last one, because there's probably times where, like, in the moment you thought it was not negative, but ends up being so later on. So.
Yeah, I try to have a little bit of forethought to it. To have if I think something might be a negative interaction in the short term, that can be a positive interaction in the future, or vice versa. You have to, it's like a gamble sometimes where it's like, well, if somebody becomes a piece of shit later, there's nothing I can do about that. And did I do good with the time that I had? Right?